Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly Facebook Live. And today I want to talk about the difference between being surrendered, being in receiving mode, being in your femininity, and taking action, and why it seems like such a dichotomy. It seems so opposite. It seems so counterintuitive to be in your feminine and be surrendered, learning how to receive, letting the man lead, all of these things that I say, but yet I tell you, when you're on the dating apps, this is a great way to start talking to a man. Well, aren't I leading then? So I want to just clarify a little bit about that. There's so much depth in that topic. Hey, Angela. Amazing to see you here. So the topic of being surrendered and taking action at the same time. It's so complex and yet so simple. It's really important for us to not be doormats and for us to not be passive. Passivity doesn't get us anywhere. Being surrendered, a person who is surrendered is not passive. A person who is surrendered is in allowance, is allowing things to unfold, isn't pushing, isn't controlling, and is leaning back and allowing something to unfold. But that doesn't mean you can't ever take action. Now, what I tell my clients all the time is take action when you're feeling connected to the feminine. So and the way to do that is when you're in alignment, when you're feeling good, when you're in flow, when you're feeling confident. That's a time when it's totally okay for you to reach out to a man, or for you to ask a question, or for you to, take the lead in something in your life, even, go on a dating app. Like, I actually have one friend who, she drives me crazy because she is so into the law of attraction that she is actually just passive and never takes action, right? Like, attracting your soulmate won't happen if you sit inside your house waiting for the doorbell to ring. It's not going to happen. You still need to get out there. You still need to be with people. You still need to take actions. You still need to make a plan. You still need to make a dating profile. You still need to take pictures. You still need to write in a feminine way and think about it and plan that out and have actions in that, if that makes sense. So just, this is part of how big the divide is between where we are at and where we need to be. Hi, Mary Carol, all my usual girls. Happy Thursday. So, right, where we need to be, where we are. So a lot of women in our society, they have this vague concept of, I'll just put my dating profile on the dating site because, fine, I have to take that action, but I'm going to let men come to me. So they're always waiting for the man to start the conversation. They're always expecting, that people will see how amazing they are without putting in any effort. That's passivity. Hi, Monique. That's being passive. That's being a doormat. That's not being feminine. That's not being surrendered. Being surrendered doesn't mean you surrender, you give up. Hi, Alchemy. Being surrendered means having a sense of your own power and allowing and letting things just be. Allowing. Oh, great. Alchemy saying hi, Barbara and Mary Carol. They know each other now in the group. I love it. So being in allowance, being surrendered, and still taking actions in a way that is moving your life forward. You're still in your own power. Being passive and being a doormat makes you give away your power, or that makes you in a place of having given away your power. So being surrendered, I mean, even, if you think about, a really powerful leader, they are not, they are a powerful leader, okay? I'm not talking about every leader. A powerful leader, they're surrendered. I think about Obama. I think about Barack Obama. He was so powerful, yet surrendered. He allowed people to speak. He allowed people to have their voice. He allowed people to have space. Yet he was a powerful leader and would take actions. And I'm using a man in this scenario because we perceive being surrendered and being, leaning back as a female thing or a feminine trait. And that's not. It's a power trait. Being surrendered makes you in your power. So let's bring it back to relationships or dating. Being surrendered, think about this really clearly as I'm saying it. Hi, Sylvia. Being surrendered, say on a date. Okay, you've made, the man has made the date happen. You dropped the scarf on the dating app. He made the date happen. Now you're, taking action and meeting him at Starbucks or wherever, and you're sitting on a date. Being surrendered in that moment is so powerful. You're not passive. You're not letting the man talk all over you. You're not letting, him do whatever he wants. You're not letting the date go on forever. That's another thing that we do. We think, oh, we should just let it unfold. No, I don't mean that at all. You are surrendered in that you're allowing it to unfold and watching. You're watching, you're witnessing. You're not gripping. You're not steering. You're not forcing. You're not leading. But you are active. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're active, but not forcing. You're surrendered, but not a doormat, not submissive, not what was the other word I used? Anyways, you get me, right? So it's a very fine balance, yes, and it's not easy to do. But one tip that I can absolutely share with you that really helped me, and that's really helpful for you going forward, is learn how to connect with your femininity. Thank you, Mary Carol. She says she totally gets it. Learning to connect with your femininity is key. It's key. Because once you can feel the difference between being either neutral or in your masculine or in your regular way that you used to be used to, and now coming into your femininity, when you're in your femininity, it's like having a really good laugh. It's that calm feeling that washes over you where your belly is so satisfied. And it's this like surrendered feeling where everything is okay, all is okay. And when you're in that place and you're really good at recognizing being in that place, from that place, you take action. As long as you're in that place, you can take as much action as you want. The second you get into a grippy place, a needy place, an anxious place, a waiting place where you're waiting and waiting and waiting for a man to call, or waiting until 3 hours has passed so you don't look too needy. As soon as you have those kinds of energies, you've lost the game with yourself. But all you need to do is just go and divert your attention and go do something that will connect you back to your femininity, and then come back to your phone, then come back to your whatever you're doing, email, and make the action there. Come back to your dating profile writing and take the action from that feminine surrendered non-attached place. And by non-attached, it doesn't mean like you don't give a shit. It just means you are not attached to the outcome. You are not gripping the outcome. Now, you could be wanting an outcome. Wanting and being surrendered can coexist, you guys. They really can. Wanting, I want this lockdown to end, right? Wanting lockdown to end and being surrendered about it are coexisting inside of me right now. I'm okay. I'm okay that I can't go to a restaurant. I am counting my blessings. I'm okay. And I am dying to go out to a restaurant. They can coexist. But I haven't given up on my life and said, forget it. I don't need to ever go to a restaurant. Screw it. I'm just going to stay home forever and not take care of myself, right? That's being passive. That's being overwhelmed. That's letting yourself just get bulldozed over. You don't want that. You are surrendered. You want to be surrendered, which is almost an active participation in and of itself. So I feel like it's maybe making sense for some of you. Oh, yeah, and Mary Carol is sharing, she's let go of the cam train on being in my femininity. That's amazing. So she has shared privately with me about a man named Cam, and she's being more surrendered with him. That's beautiful, Mary Carol. Thank you for sharing that. So if you have any questions, please pop them in right now. It's a bit of a difficult topic. I feel like you guys, you guys are so smart. You often get these concepts really easily, but sometimes we need to hear them several times to really get them to land. So surrender versus passivity, leaning back versus, being a doormat. And that goes for everything in life, you guys. It's not just with men, but it shows up the most with men. It's the most important to master this with men. However, it is the easiest to master it not with men, so outside of men. So with your colleagues, at Starbucks, at the grocery store, that allowing that surrender, like, I will get there no matter what. I don't have to honk my horn. I don't have to control traffic. I don't have to deke in and out to get to my place where I want to go 1 minute sooner. Like, surrender, Barbara. It's okay. And that opens up, being in a surrendered space really opens up your mind to let better ideas in. So that driving scenario, once I've let go of having to have control over the traffic, I am able to daydream about my goals. I'm able to come up with concepts. I use the time. I may phone someone, hands-free. I may phone like one of my daughters, or I may, make a phone call that I've been putting off and using that time. So same with being surrendered, say on a date. Instead of being in your head thinking about the future or gripping or trying to manipulate the conversation or being worried about how you look or how you sound or how you're being perceived, be present and be surrendered. Allow it to unfold. And you'll find that you're going to be a lot more enjoying that moment, and things are going to start flowing. So rather than controlling the conversation will flow, and you'll be in your feminine, you'll be in flow, and you'll show up even better than when you're trying to control it. This is the point. Trying to control will always backfire. Hi, Michelle. Michelle just joined us. Okay, Alkany is asking a question up here. Give me a second. Barbara, can you elaborate more on quote unquote being a doormat? I hear that a lot, but not quite sure what people use that as a phrase. Totally. So Alkany, being a doormat means you get stepped on metaphorically. Just you're lying down, people step on you. So it's a metaphor for being a people pleaser, always trying to please people and doing stuff for them and letting them take advantage of you, or letting them bulldoze over you, letting them overpower you. And that happens sometimes with men and dates. They overpower you with their talking. They're always talking, and you're just sitting there and you can't get a word in edgewise. Sometimes, what we do is we just go into doormat mode where we just let them talk. And sometimes we go into masculine mode where we're like, oh, well, I want to speak too, or like we dominate. Surrendering is just like observing, maybe speaking a little, not being attached to the outcome. I hope that helps. Charlene is here. Welcome. Mary Carol is taking on her dating profile. Welcome, Michelle. Control is fear-based. Absolutely. You have a question mark there, but yes, control is fear-based, 100%. When we want control in anything, we're fearing something. There's always a fear underneath. And it's really not that hard to figure out what it is. I have that in my relationship. When I start wanting to control him, I realize I have a fear about something. A fear usually about losing control myself. So like if it's to do with the housework, I have a fear of losing control of the housework and not having a neat home. And when I don't have a neat home, my psychology, and you ladies, you can totally relate to this, I'm sure. When your home isn't tidy, your inner life isn't tidy. So I start controlling him because I feel out of control. And that's a mild example. There's other examples too. I have that with my physique, when I feel out of control with eating, or when I haven't exercised and I feel really out of control, I start, I've tried to control my environment. I get nastier to the people around me. So that is definitely, control is always fear-based, 1,000% of the time. Alchemy, so happy for you, Mary Carol. Ah, cute. Okay, Alchemy says, got it. Being in surrender mode is a lot more fun when I can do it. Yes, Charlene, it is so much more fun. And especially when you realize you still get to have power. You're not out of control. You get to have power when you're in surrender mode. In fact, you have more power because women, when we are connected to our femininity, we are in even more power than when we're trying to be too much like men. Not quote unquote. For example, being in control mode. That makes us actually out of control, and it's caused from fear, and it's caused from being out of control, and that makes us grippy and controlling. But when we're surrendered, we have a certain level of control too, actually. We're just empowered in ourselves, which is the exact control that we're actually truly and deeply longing for. That gripping control is not what we're looking for. We've been conditioned that we want that. Career control over men, control over our bodies, control over our work, control over our outside environment. But really what we're longing for is connecting to our femininity, connecting to ourselves, and allowing that to be, because we're so secure in that the outside world can have an entire storm and we are okay. And that is our empowerment that we're so longing for when we're trying to control our outside world. Yes, Alchemy, surrendering is power. And if you want to get even more control, so Michelle said control is fear. Control is fear, surrender is power. Control is fear, surrender is power. Right? I might even quote myself on my Facebook page or on my Instagram feed. So what a great topic, hey, you guys. And I love the connections you guys are making. Oh, everybody is just connecting on here. I love it. I will move on. I'm gonna, I was waiting for questions. There isn't a question, but Michelle is saying, really great stuff, Barbara. I'm manifesting my soulmate and so helpful. I have to go to work. Okay, Michelle, touch base later. Nice to see you on here. Yeah, and I'm gonna let you guys go too. This was a very deep topic, and I would love to continue it. I think it's really important for us to get the concept. But ladies, number one, connect to self-care, which connects you to self-love, which connects you to your femininity, which connects you to your surrender. And then you can actually practice this. Practice is the most important component of what I teach. I don't care how many concepts you know in your head. If you don't practice it, it's never going to manifest in your outside world at all. So that is my take-home message, you guys. I love you. So great to see all of my people here. Mwah. And one last comment I'll read. Charlene is saying, I have been noticing the tendency to control and practicing surrender. So beautiful, Charlene. And if you take those last comments that I made about the practice piece, you're just going to start getting it, no problem. I love you all. And hi, Minu. Minu Bhatia just joined, and I am just signing off. So Minu, go ahead and watch the replay. It's going to upload right away, and you can watch it right away. You're welcome, Alkani. Mwah!